Back to school means more parental concerns about teen drivers. Perhaps some tech can help. Welcome back to Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. Joining us is Chevrolet safety engineer and mom, Tricia Morrow. Thanks for taking the time, Tricia.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, Chevrolet worked with the Harris poll to conduct a survey of parents of teens about concerns they have about their driving skills and those of their teens related to the pandemic. Give us the overview here.
You know, with back to school in full swing, as you said, Chevy worked with the Harris poll to conduct a survey of parents of school-aged children to really find out what they thought about returning back to school. You know, and as you mentioned, we saw three key themes in the data. First, parents were concerned for themselves. It's been a long time since a lot of us have been out on the road and heavy traffic and had routines, and 68% of parents indicated they were concerned getting back on the road during this back to school time. Parents are concerned for their teens. Many teens might have lost some valuable practice time during the pandemic, and 61% of parents are concerned about them getting back on the road, which may be even a more aggressive road environment than they were previously exposed to. And lastly, you know, parents really do lean on in-vehicle technology. Almost 80% of parents say that the technologies in their vehicle give them a little extra peace of mind on the road. And those are technologies included in our Chevy vehicles, including the 2022 Chevy Traverse.
You know, it's interesting. The figures during the pandemic from NHTSA, I think they are pretty disturbing. Even with fewer people on the road, fewer vehicle miles traveled, fatalities were up. The fatality rates very significantly, and of course the traffic deaths are the leading cause of death for teenagers. So tell us what your thoughts are about that. What's behind it? Have many of us just been more careless?
You know, as a mom of a teen driver, you know, looking at these statistics are no less than terrifying. You know, we did see, according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the fatality rate, the fatalities per mile driven, even with less cars on the road, we saw that fatality rate jump 24% in 2020. And that's largely attributed to increased speeds on the road. So we really saw, you know, vehicles traveling faster, and a lack of seatbelt use, which is astounding. You know, we really saw some poor driving behaviors during the pandemic, and you know, it's really paramount that we remember those and that we continue to enforce those really good driving behaviors as we get back on the roadways, because the good driving behaviors is what's really going to keep our kids safe on the road. And to your point, one of the leading causes of death of children 15 to 19 or 13 to 19 are car crashes. So it's really important that we all drive with our eyes up, phones down, and seatbelts on.
You know, parents have always been worried when they have a new teen driver in the household, and you're going through that experience yourself now, I understand. But today, with the cell phones that you just mentioned, the fears are I think heightened because that behavior is so tempting for kids and many adults to pick up the phone while they're behind the wheel.
You know, as with many technologies, you know, there are, you know, some really great aspects to it. You know, with my teen on the road, I'm able to get in touch with her. I'm able to, you know, in many cases, see where she is and where she's been. You know, we really talk about the importance of using some of that in-vehicle technology like Bluetooth pairing, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, making sure the phone is connected to the vehicle. Make sure before she sets out on the road that she has her playlists and her navigation routes. Everything is set so that she doesn't have to handle the phone while driving. And in her vehicle, we also have Chevy's Teen Driver active, where it really can help facilitate additional conversations with her, even when I can't be in the car with her. Not only does, when Teen Driver is active, not only can it mute the radio if the driver or detected passenger are not wearing their seatbelt, Buckle to Drive is active, you know, on many of our vehicles within Teen Driver, which is a really strong seatbelt reminder, and it can prevent the teen from shifting out of park. if they're not wearing their seatbelt. So again, just really showing the importance of seatbelt use. And when teen driver's active, all of our active safety features are defaulted on. And after the drive, I can take a look at her report card to see if any of those active safety features engaged, and then talk to her about what might have happened on the road, what she could do differently, and what might have happened.
So what kinds of things is it telling you as a parent?
So the report card can tell you miles traveled, how many wide open throttle events, how many times active safety features engaged. There's also a speed warning, which you can set on the vehicle, and it will just give the teen a reminder when that speed has been, when you're driving in excess of that speed. So I'm able to look at how many times that happened. That's actually one of my daughter's favorite features. Apparently she has a lead foot, but it's one of her favorite features on the vehicle because she's able to maintain her speed and stay within the speed limit without getting a ticket or any other adverse consequences that speeding might lead to.
And I guess that kind of technology is almost a way of life for teenagers today, at least those who have the newer cars. And there aren't many objections about privacy. Mom, you're prying, you're spying on me.
Well, it must have been a different experience growing up as a daughter of a safety engineer. I mean, I'm sure the lessons that both of my girls have learned, since they were little, have been ingrained in their brains. But, we don't use it as necessarily a tracking tool or anything like that. My daughter's actually used it to show me what a good driver she is, to show me, my forward collision alert went off, Mom, but that was because someone cut in front of me and I was able to control my vehicle. So she really is able to show me what a great driver she is by using Teen Driver.
With some of the other technologies in the car that you mentioned before on the dash, et cetera, as a safety engineer, what do you look at in drawing the line? What's valuable? What might add to the distractions? How do you look at things?
Well, as an engineer, I really like data. It's really important that we not only put some of these safety features in, but then we also test them to make sure that they're effective. And the 2022 Chevy Traverse comes with Chevy Safety Assist, and it's standard on all trim levels. And what it is it's a suite of 6 active safety features, including automatic emergency braking, front pedestrian braking, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, and several others. And we've worked with the University of Michigan Transportation Research Institute to really take a look at the effectiveness of these features. So we look at vehicles that have this kind of content on them and features that don't. And then we're able to track them to see what type of crash events they were involved in. And what we found are that many of these active safety features are really having a statistically significant effect on reducing crash speeds or avoiding crashes altogether. And so as a parent, I absolutely value our active safety features. And as an engineer, I really am excited about the project, all of the progress that we're making to help reduce crashes out on the road.
And about the use of the screens in cars. In many vehicles, these screens are getting bigger and bigger. Is that a distraction or is it helpful?
At Chevy, we have a distraction lab, and we actually test a lot of the features and functions that go into the vehicles, be it changing the radio, things along those lines, to really make sure it does not cause excess eyes off road time. So there's guidelines that we follow, and we really make sure that the way that we offer the features and functions on these screens, that it really does help minimize or reduce the distraction that it could cause in the vehicle. For other features, we bound and curate the systems. Essentially, we're not allowing you to do some things while we are enabling other things that might be okay to do while you're driving. If you look at Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, you're able to receive texts via voice. You're able to respond via voice. So you really don't have to handle that phone while you're driving. And you can drive with your eyes on the road, eyes up with that phone down. And of course, I always would be remiss if I didn't add with your seatbelt on.
Absolutely. So are parents more concerned about themselves now being out on the road more and maybe taking kids back and forth to school, or are they more worried about their teens maybe doing driving to school or after school?
As a parent myself, I didn't do a lot of driving during the pandemic, and it wasn't like I forgot. I just might have been a little bit more rusty when I got back out on the road. But, I'm not going to go through how old I might be, but I have several years of driving experience. And I'm more concerned for my child. I'm more concerned for my daughter who didn't have that practice time during the pandemic. As with any skill, practice makes perfect. And it's really important that you get that practice time. And so with some delays in the amount of time she had on the road, I'm absolutely more concerned as she hits the road and making sure that she really refamiliarizes herself with the car. We talk about refamiliarizing ourselves with the rules of the road, and especially the rules of the school. They haven't been to school, many kids haven't been to school in over a year. And so really understanding where she goes in and out for school, where her sister gets dropped off and picked up, and making sure she gives herself a little extra time, because it's really paramount that we don't have kids running through traffic or double parking, because practicing good, safe driving behaviors is what's really going to lead to the start of a really great, safe school year.
Terrific. Any place that people can go to if they want more information?
For more information on all of the vehicles, all of our Chevy vehicles, active safety technologies, Chevy.com is a great resource.
Tricia Morrow, thank you so much for taking the time with us.
Thank you.
Now this. It takes a lot of listening to build a better radio, and that's just what the folks at C. Crane have done. Bob Crane and his crew, nestled among the rivers and tallest trees in the world in Fortuna, California, have made a habit of listening to their customers. And that's just what they've done in building the CC Skywave SSB, the Swiss Army knife of portable radios. For everyday listening to AM or FM in the yard or patio or on the nightstand without having to drain a mobile phone battery, it's a great companion. But it is also a companion equipped for NOAA weather information and alerts that can be life-saving. You can listen to FEMA and Coast Guard transmissions too. Beyond all of that, you can tune into shortwave signals from around the world. It's compact, easy to take with you, and built to last. The CC Skywave SSB. Click on the link at Techstination.com.